So let me show you what we have. We haven't done a lick of financials, and this might even help you to kind of even see where things play, okay? Watch this. Let's go to P&L first off, okay? P&L, we have the permission. Here's our new page. This one has a great help file. It says, hey, just so you know, here's how we track things. Here's where the revenue comes from. Here's where your cost of goods comes from. Eventually you'll get gross profit. Then you'll get expenses. Here's how this is tracked. And then eventually you get a thing called net profit, okay? So it tries to explain some of these pieces. Where's it coming from? Normal deposits. This is a subsection of this. It'll do this, this, this. Basically, it kind of plays some of these lines out. Okay, that's the help file. We set our values. This is a playground. We've been in here for a little while. If you have multiple locations, you say, which locations would you like to see? Okay, your invoice dates, which most people will be on the top, the invoice date and the receipt date. These verified things, this is literally like almost running on a cash level. Like, don't even count me unless I fully hear. Like, don't. Like, most people don't do that, and if they do run on cash, it's because they have a system that can't track it over time, because anybody who has inventory technically should never be on a cash system. Anybody who has any sort of receivables or payables, you should not be on a cash system. That needs to be accrual, okay? These are technical words in accounting, but what we do is we try to help you run on an accrual system out of the box, okay? Because it runs over time, and that's the piece that's called accrual. It's called time. Okay, so we go like this. Select, 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 select. Which version would you like to see? Basic, small, medium, or large? Why don't we start? We'll just do one by one, okay? What's this? Get me the numbers. Okay, currently we have 29,000. This is just our little play site, okay? We have 29,000 we've had in revenue. We have 17,000 we've had in cost of goods. We've got a gross profit of this and 0 expenses. We haven't even hit the expense side, okay? But it's currently kind of telling us, hey, you're currently at 12,000 net, okay? That's the basic area. It gives you a little bit of information here at the top.
Before taxes, huh?
Yeah. Yep. So basically that's what net profit is, okay? So watch this. Let's go up one more level deeper. Small. Okay, watch this. Same numbers. I'm still at 12,000. Starting to get into some drill downs, okay? We have 5,000 of that 29 that we saw earlier that was actually associated to our part number other and labor and et cetera, et cetera. You want me to see it? Watch this. You can click on it. I have 38 records that were actually tied to invoice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These were all our first ones. Here's what they did. Here's the values of them. Like, these are just the invoice totals. What if you wanted to actually go to this invoice? What is this? 1,500 right here. Oh, Mark Huber did this one. Look, we've got this. Bunch of supplies and some labor and multiple payments, and like the whole thing is there. Okay, so we haven't done.
I've got your profit and loss, and I can instantaneously drill down.
Instantaneous. We're only on second level right now. Check this out. Watch this. Let's go deeper. Okay, I'm going to go special back button, which basically says let's jump back a little bit. I'm going to go to the basic search. We currently were on the second volume. What if we opened up that just another little level? Okay, what if I wanted to specifically see, what did I actually do under discounts? It looks like I've got $162 in discounts. Click. Oh, okay. Well, what if I wanted to check this one? This one's pretty high, a $900 discount. What the heck happened there? Okay, Shannon created this one. And, okay, so she's got a snazzy mountain bike. Looks like she was doing something. And she gave a discount, and it was a 10% of a higher amount. Okay, so $94 discount. But what it was doing is it was actually showing me some of the different pieces of the puzzle. So the reason I clicked on that is, why did I click on that? Oh, I looked at this number. I looked at the wrong piece. Okay, but I'm like, whoa! But anyway, I just helped me figure out exactly what's going on. I want you to see how much detail you have immediately. Okay, this is why you don't create chart of accounts. Guess what? We just did normal operations, and then we map. We map to objects and data over time. Okay, so we haven't done a thing, but check this out. Okay, cost of goods. Guess what? I can go check on Shannon's Gear Shop. It's currently say I have $240 in cost of goods through Shannon's Gear Shop. If I click on it, okay, here's my invoice total. Here's my revenue. Here's my cost of goods. Here's $300. If I click on printable, it'll tell me exactly what that was. To Cheryl Moore. Okay, this was that pack. If I wanted to actually see a different value of that, like that's the printable version going down into that, but this is literally telling me all the different pieces. If I wanted to see where that $300 of cost of goods, watch, if I go into edit mode, I go down to find this line and I hit edit, it technically should have my $300 that's in my pay 2 at 150. So I was looking at that, I was like, oh, why is it not 3? And I was like, okay, let's just go check the quantity. But does that make sense how we have $300 sitting in there from cost of goods? It's virtually pulling. The cart is behind the horse. The horse goes all over the place. We were playing and just doing random stuff, but guess what? That cart was doing automatically with zero interaction from you. We're going on this ride, up and down. Like the cart is behind the horse. It's completely different to what you normally even do. You haven't played on the expense side, but guess what? As I pay my utility bill, as I do this, guess what it's doing?
Well, is there a real reason for going the other way?
Well, tradition.
Tradition. Well, tradition, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if what we did does all this in the background, why do it any differently?
See, this is what's
You're
going to
just breaking the mold is all. What they're used to doing.
correct. And this traditional model, literally, do you know the date 1492? What happened in 1492?
Columbus.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay. What happened 2 years later than
Well,
that?
I'm sure accounting started before 1500.
Okay.
The process.
The guy's name was Luca Pacioli. He was a monk and a friar in Italy. 1494, he created this book called Summa de Arithmetica. Basically, it's the math sum, or the sum of the math book. And it talked about the Italians and how some of the merchants were tracking some of their stuff, double entry stuff. This was pre-video camera, pre-typewriter, pre-running water in your house, pre-everything, but that is the model.
And it was revolutionary to find, to allow you to double check, and a double entry system is so much more accurate than a single entry system. And we knew that, so people stick with it, but now the capability's there. This is amazing.
So check this out. We've drilled down on the piece, and guess what? I have full details. I have full history. So instead of doing double entry accounting, what if I told you we're almost doing 6 different ways? What's your checks and balances? Oh my goodness.
Forcing the double entry is just to watch for transposition errors and all that. There's still error potential.
Oh yeah.
You know, all of those things. You can't get rid of that. But I'm thinking when I see a report and I give a report to someone, that's why USU doesn't teach QuickBooks. And I go, honestly, so they look at the end report that I print out of QuickBooks and you take that as gospel.
Yeah.
No wonder you get fraudulent activity because they can't. They're not drilling down.
What happened before?
You just looked in that, you saw that 947 discount, there's a red flag. Anybody who knows their business would be able to scan those things, see potential issues, and drill down and be able to see where the problem is.
I can even fix something, okay? And once I fix it, it's just-in-time calculations. It'll roll itself forward or roll itself back, depending on what needs to happen.
Well, I'm convinced.
Do you want to go to the bigger level? Like we just went to the medium level.
We just have one more level.
Okay, so once again, we just have our inventory, but watch this. I'm going to clear down to the vendor level on this particular part of it. Clear down in the cost of goods, depending on, hey, so I've got a bunch of basic inventory. It looks like I've got $6.75 from Shopco. I could literally go click, prove it. Okay, $6.75 cost of goods. Okay, prove it even further. Click, come down here, and I'd actually say, you know what, view all of these line items. I want to break it out into exacts. What have I got under cost? Okay. Okay, hang on. I'm like, whoa, what happened here? I just went to that invoice, but I didn't realize I was looking for just Shopco and just
out the door to get your chips.
Yeah.
That was our add-on.
Okay, so once again, it's kind of throwing me up. Oh, okay. Look at the peace of mind I gained right here. Okay, cool. But if I have a question, what the heck happened here? Like, all I have to do is go like this. Let's actually go to this physical invoice. Okay, I'm going to go to the history on this bad boy. Who did it? Okay, it was created for $7,000, and then all of a sudden, it looks like Brandon was doing all this information. Mark.
That's where we ran it, and you just decide if you wanted to go back and show us.
Correct. I know, but like
But
the
it's
whole
all there.
thing, here's the cool thing. So Madeline and Mark, you guys were talking about databases, and when we started, we're like, hey, we don't even store 5 gigs worth of data, and we're running hundreds of companies, okay? The reason is guess what? If I want something, I'm going to go ask for it, okay? I physically told the server, take me into invoice 41, into the history field, and that's all I need back, because that's what I'm looking for. So I virtually have this huge library of data, potentially multiple
But when you
worlds
click,
and companies.
it goes and only pulls and then releases immediately.
It's just kind of just in time, getting you just what you need, okay?
I know.
That's why you play that game. It's because this thing is skinny. You could run, say I had Costa Vida as my franchise, okay? I could technically run all of Costa Vida and probably 3 servers from the cloud and run every Costa Vida in the entire world, 3 servers. Okay? You know how much each Costa Vida has? Each Costa Vida has their own server inside the, think of the IT stuff, and then every single one of them needs to somehow get some QuickBooks. Hopefully you're using QuickBooks and we're using QuickBooks, and like, okay, feed it all in, and we're going to get it. Now we're going to re-enter because now I've got all these sub-locations. You just have major problems, major problems. But what if I said, feed me, and I'll monitor, and I'll map, and I'll permission, and I'll settings, and I'll.
When you say feed me, your server's talking to their server, and it's uploading information to your server.
No.
Oh, I'm just giving you an example. This is totally an example. Currently, what they're doing is each individual location has their own software, their own implications and setup, their own accounting, their own everything, and then eventually they have to report back to headquarters. I can't even imagine how crazy headquarters goes when they're like, oh man, don't send me the Logan place again. They always screw up the XYZ account or whatever, okay? So how cool would it be if you were on that universe level and you had multiple worlds, within that possibly multiple locations, like if you stacked it like that, you're like, you can,
For comparison,
it changes the world you live in. It totally does. Okay. So one of the things that Adilas is doing is we are purposely kind of trying to pioneer some of these roads, and we're going to try to let some of this information out and let people know what we're doing, because they literally have been. Okay, I just want to show you what actually happened. Okay. We haven't even gone here, but I want to show you for just a quick second, okay? You know how you were looking for a chart of accounts? Watch this right here. I'm going to go to expense type classifications, okay? So I went to expense receipt homepage. I had to have this permission in order to play it. This is like a purple permission. Guess what the page name is? So add edit expense types. Piece of cake, I can add whatever expense types I want. Look at this page name right here. I want to draw this out. This is kind of funny. Add edit chart of accounts. Okay, so if I
So
look,
you have a chart of accounts, it doesn't function like a chart of accounts because a chart of accounts is stagnant.
okay, so what happened was is because we built this thing with operations leading, we didn't say, okay, do all this, do all this, do all this. Here's what happened. I'm going to flip back to the map. This, it has a funny comment in the code of this particular thing, okay? Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is that in 06, we were headed towards chart of accounts. Okay? What happened was because we had to build this little by little and we were a teeny company and we didn't need all that other stuff, we just built it out as far as we needed it. And then all of a sudden, something else happened and we're like, oh, we're here. Well, why am I going to come back there then? I just needed that just for that little teeny
And you
piece.
realized you didn't need the chart of
I
accounts?
realized I didn't need it, and it was because of how things developed over time. Okay? But originally, guess what we were going to call this? Added a chart of accounts. There's 3 places that we use kind of a chart of account type system, okay? In expense line items, in deposit line items, and in balance sheet items, user maintained balance sheet items. I have a fixed asset. I have, a loan that I got from a bank. I have this and this and this, okay? I need to drill those down to specifics to what level. So in our chart of accounts, what we also did is we're like, off the bat, why don't we let you play at a 5-level deep playground, okay? And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, you can start stacking, and then I can collapse my reports. let's do a single expense, and I'm going to show you, okay? We're going to do this right here. I'm going to say normal, let's call it a fixed expense, semi-fixed, fees, testing, okay? And then this is just a general description. This is more for you, like in case you print out your list. What did I really want to use this for, type thing, okay? I'm going to show it to all. You can say, do I want to show it to admin only or whatever, okay? Like you can dictate who gets, you can see these chart accounts, okay? We're going to say add the account. This is on the expense side. So look at this, income statement, normal expenses, semi-fixed, fees, and finally coming down to one called testing, okay? We're going to say add the account. Now watch this. We're going to just quickly pop into something right here. I know that I have Walmart. Say I was going to actually pay them a check. Create an expense. We haven't even talked about this. I just want to show you for a quick demo. 27th, how much are we going to do? Let's do $50 just for fun, okay? Say you had some sort of thing, test, some description. You're going to come down, watch this. Let's say fees and testing that is associated with my income statement, okay? Do I have a location? This is how I assign things to chart of accounts. This simple, okay? You don't have to remember any. Like say for instance your petty cash was like 9 digits long or 6 digits long or whatever. You just find the word petty cash and say which location, and now you come down here and you say, oh, we actually did you a check. Here's the default bank number, and it was 11111. Okay, create the expense receipt. Okay, all I did was just create an expense receipt. This is literally the very first one that we have, and it has this, and it maps it all the way out to the fees and the income statement side. Guess what? If I go to my P&L, what's going to happen?
There it's going to be.
It's going to be right there. Okay, watch this. Home, P&L, and let's go ahead and run it just to a, well, let's go to at least a medium level just so you can kind of see it. Okay? So here's my $50 in expenses that just barely happened. Okay? Now as I come down, expenses, semi-fixed, fees, the next level down would even say testing. Okay? So you're virtually mapping that. If you want to click on it, now I'm virtually seeing this whole thing. If I want to go further, guess what I'm going to go to? Expense receipt number 1, either edit mode, or printable, or whatever. What's the history? Who did this thing? Oh, Brandon did it, and he eventually added a line item, etc., etc. Okay? This is tracked all behind the scenes. We didn't touch a lick. It totally changes the whole ball game. But if I wanted to, you ask, how do I set up a company? Watch this. Say I wanted to put something towards cost of goods, and I just wanted to preload something. What if I did this? Let's find ourselves as a vendor. I'm going to pretend that it's under wild wandering. Okay, I knew that this was a vendor. Pretend that this was yourself. You create an expense receipt. You come in here. Say we wanted to go $5,000 towards cost of goods sold. Okay. Okay. Right here, 5,000. I can split this into however many little pieces I want. Okay. And if it exceeds 3, read the help file. It just says, guess what? You can add unlimited. I'm just trying to keep it simple, so I'm not going to show you 50 million of them, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, let's send this to cost of goods. You know what? I don't see a cost of goods account. I'm going to temporarily put it in. I'm not sure, okay? I'll go add it in just a second. We're going to come down here and say I'm going to change that back. What was it? 5,000? Mm-hmm. 5,000 internal. No bank assigned because of this. No money physically came out. I didn't really pay this. Just loading the system, okay? I'm kind of doing some quick little notes here. I'm going to say add that expense receipt.
So I can follow that same process basically. I mean,
so I just put $5,000 towards IS normal expense up. But guess what? I didn't want it there. I actually wanted it up under cost of goods, but I hadn't created the account yet. So watch this. I'll come in here, expense receipts. I'll come back to my account. I'll come here and I'll say, you know what? I need a cost of good once it's mapped there. And we're going to go testing COGS just for fun. Please don't do this in real life. Like this is just for stuff. So watch this. I'm going to hit last on my expense receipt. Say I didn't even remember what it did. I'm going to use my quick search. Last. I'm going to go into edit line items. Pop. Bam. I'm going to come right down here. This I don't know account, which technically if I was looking at my P&L, guess what it would say? I don't know, which is basically a flag account saying, hey, somebody else fix this, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a quick edit. Now, actually, I'm going to leave it here for just a second so you can see that it shows it under I don't know, and then we're going to go back to it, okay? So we're just going to go home, P&L. We'll just say, grab it all the way up to extended levels. Okay, so currently I have my revenue. It's still way up here at $29,017 as my cost of goods. This is the one I wanted to hit for $5,000 more. But currently where it went is I don't know, not sure. Okay, $5,000 down here. I'm going to click on this, which basically says, hey, it's on expense receipt number 2. I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to come down. I'm going to then change it from here and virtually map this to right here to the new little testing cost of goods sold. Okay, it's mapped slightly different. Hit edit the line items. Okay, I'm good. Watch this. Come back. I'm going to go to my P&L, and I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, so now my expenses is just my $50 that was at Walmart. And guess what? Way up here, I now hit something in the revenue section under cost of goods, but this is a separate, instead of actually coming from an invoice, I just said I want to hit cost of goods for $5,000. So if I scroll up my numbers, I went from 17 to 22. Okay, that's my entry. Okay, once you learn that it's object-oriented entry versus key entry, you can play it anywhere you want. But guess what? The cool thing is instead of it being like, whoa, wait a second, you can't just do that. Well, guess what somebody can do? They can come down here and, what the heck is this 5,000 test cost of goods? They click on it, and they say, playing with loaded cost of goods. Oh, let's see what's even more about this. Okay, they did it to this vendor. When did it happen? What's the date? What's going on? I'm going to see who did this. Who's in trouble? I'm going to go talk to Brandon. Or they're like, you know what? Probably doesn't need to go to cost of goods. I really wanted that map to, like, it's an object-oriented, but guess what? It leaves all of the baggage, and so you can virtually have your full audit trail. And so it changes from a double entry, put 5,000 here, put 5,000 there. You know what? That totally washes out. I just left a full footprint. Who did it? Who touched it? Who played? Okay, I can document it. Say I actually said, hey, this 5,000 came from a thing. Watch this. Let's go to expense receipt homepage. Here's my 2 expense receipts. I'm going to click on edit or printable, and I'm going to say add a photo right here. Let's pretend that this is my documentation. I open my thing. This says, hey, these were my starting numbers. Okay, I'm going to scan an item, and I'm going to literally add it in there. Okay, this is how I document things. So I'm going to come up here, say show the desktop, and I'm going to come to my scanner wizard. And this shouldn't take long at all, just it'll kind of find the printer. As long as this one doesn't freak out. Sometimes this my scanner freaks out. So I found the little scanner. I click next. I hit custom because it changes the DPI settings from 200 to 100. I don't want that big of a file. I say next, and I say next. It's going to give me a number 31. In the meantime, while it's scanning, I can be over here doing whatever else I needed to do, okay? I'm going to listen to my cue to say basically, hey, I'm done scanning. Just kind of listening, kind of still thinking for a second. And eventually it'll go, kind of run it back across. And I'm just barely warm. Okay, there's my cue. It's done. I'm going to hit browse. And now I'm going to say, you know what, I know where my folder is, and ideally it'll already be down to the folder that you needed. And it was the very last one that I did. I don't care what the number is. I say open. Now this one is special. SPECIAL. Does that make sense how you would document it, whatever it is, okay? And you say add that photo to that expense. Okay, so now whatever I scanned is now assigned to expense receipt number 2, and I can technically, at any point in time, I can view the gallery, I can click on it, and it virtually says, here's my full documentation, okay? I created the entire object, and it now has line items, and locations, and chart of accounts, and pictures, and vendor history, and user history, and I said, this is my accounting. This is my accounting, okay? So it's complete. Madeline, I can see some of you coming up, okay, I can follow that a little bit. What about this? Keep asking the what abouts because this is how we play.
So you use a simple entry on the front end.
Yeah.
But you're doing double entry on the back end.
We
Behind the
simulate double entry.
Simulate
We
double
do not do
entry,
double
that's
entry, but we simulate it because guess what? If I have an expense receipt, I have a main, which is tied to a vendor, which may help me with payables, and it may help me with the total amount. But I'm not really worried, and it has some dates. Those are important, okay? Those are important. But the line items, that's how I map it to cost of goods.
We're just
Oh, I did
taking
this.
all the special journals and everything and we're going straight.
You
Because
tell
we've never
the
had the
story,
ability.
and we will follow behind you with the cart. If there's something special, we can use FlexGrid. We can use user maintained balance sheet items. Like you
But
can.
just a simple, I mean, you can set up a checking account, start tracking your expense. It's
It amazes
basically
me no one's
pretty
ever
easy.
thought of this before.
Well, we didn't have the capacity.
We didn't have the capacity. Mark, just the other day you were saying, wow, they used to have these spinning hard drives, and then what they did in order to get like flash drives and thumb drive and all this kind of stuff, they started using random access memory instead of the ROM, the read-only memory.
I mean, it's only
It changed night and day.
that you would be able to make this work this way. All that system of going to special journals actually collapsed and made things easier, but we didn't have it. It was all
Well,
linear.
you literally have a separation still, okay? You have accounting and you have operations. They're doing whatever they want, but there's no connection. Literally what we have to do is this, track every penny in, every penny out. Where does it go? What happens with it? And we're trying to bring it together that way. So it's revolutionary as far as the way it plays.
Those same entries, I mean, you'd have to eventually ultimately get people on board, and so
Yeah.
you would take where their checking account is, this money market, they owe here, all their accounts receivable, accounts payable, and ultimately you gotta get it in so that
Okay,
it's functional.
correct. You have to get the whole thing in. Guess what? We just played. Let's click banks. We haven't even played over here. Okay? I have a little default. It's probably not even the one I want. I would just hit bank homepage, and I would say, let's change this default bank into, say we're here say we're in Utah. Okay? Zions. If I wanted to, I could address, city, state. What's my starting balance? What's my this? What's like you could. How do I want to do checks? I actually want to do laser on the top. That's great. And I say edit the bank. All of a sudden, I now have Zion's bank. How come it's negative 50 already? What happened? Let's view the register. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. We wrote that thing to Walmart, but we really didn't even have anything going yet. Like, it's already building your whole
So as soon as you get people up so that they're operational part
the
of it,
important pieces. These are the
it's all there, and then you go.
Yeah. So what you do, think of it like this, a rough stone, get it rolling so that the operations are going smooth. I've got inventory in, I'm tracking inventory, I'm doing deposits and expenses. That just to that level, then you're ready to do financials. If you jump before that, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, like how do I do this?
Well, that was the old school thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you gotta get that in there so that the accounts can be
You know,
attacked, but it's recording every step, and then you do catch up with your financials to make the transition to get people.
correct. We call it a line in the sand, okay? Imagine you got tons of stuff going. At some point you're like, okay, we are going live with our financials on June 1. Well, they may have already been using the system for a couple of months. So that means they have some random things, this and this and this. So you virtually draw a line in the sand and you say, if I pull the financials on June 1, I need it to be to this level, okay? And then from there, it'll just keep going forward because it's doing just-in-time calculations. It goes almost to a spreadsheet mentality of functions and formulas on the just-in-time calculations.
So the transition of somebody, once you get their operations in place, transitioning the financials is really not a big deal.
It's really not at all.
And then all of a sudden you teach and show them how to use the reporting, and they can keep doing their manual system in the background so that they feel good about what's happening and see the correlation and the comparison, and then they build trust, and then they can let it go.
Well, the thing that happens, this is a quote from a user, okay? I can sleep at night. Okay, that is a quote from a user. I can sleep at night. We've had certain companies we've gone into and say they were doing, this is the common scenario. Say you have 4 to 6 software programs and you're trying to merge and marry everything together. One does operations, one does scheduling, one does this and this and this. And the person's like, oh my goodness, like I got my taxes back, but I know that that's not right because that is It was submitted for my taxes. That is not right. We put them on Adilas. It takes a little bit to get them going, but all of a sudden they're like, in the first time in X number of years,
I know where
I know where I am at. And if I have a question, I drill down. If I have another question, I drill down. If I have another question, I drill down. If I have another question, I call tech support. No, I'm just kidding. But that's how it rolls in place. The whole history and the whole thing, it virtually takes you to that world-building level. But imagine if you were actually videotaping what happens, okay? Not worried now. Oh, that's important. Oh, that's important. Okay, if you run that back in time, guess what you can do? What happened 3 hours ago? Skip. Oh, they were right here. Okay, so I virtually can map back to that in time on the fly because everything is all these just-in-time calculations using modern technology and fast databases and web, internet, and no IT, no software, no hardware requirements, no nothing. You put it in there, we'll say it at the store, here's our slogan, okay? Like you've probably heard this 50 million times. Your data, you cache and retrieve it, we secure it, okay? So I just put expense receipt, check, invoice, parts, customers, okay? You're probably not going to want to look at everything all at once. You're probably going to be like, go show me XYZ customer, okay? And then I'll pull that just out for you, okay? You know, I want to go bigger. I want to come out a little bit. Show me all of my customers. Oh, no problem, cool. We'll just do a different report. We'll just kind of query the database a little different. So like, literally, it's just teeny little pieces of data that we just organize and stick them into compartments. It's virtually a giant piece of Tupperware that's connected with a back-end web interface. That's kind of how Adilas works, okay?